This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studio, this is The Ramsey Show. It's where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Christy Wright. We are Ramsey personalities. We also have shows named after us.
Really creative
of the Ramsey Network. We spent tons and tons of cents and minutes coming up with those names. But it's always fun when we are together. Christy and I are very much in alignment on what we are passionate about. So we're going to help you with your money, of course, your money questions. We will help you with your life and time and stress and work and business.
Career.
Am I leading anything out? Career, of course. Well, I say career. I always say work, you know? It's like, do you want to do work you love? Do you want to make money and impact? Of course you do. You want to get that side hustle up and going. So all of those things there, it's just wide open. So that's a virtual buffet, don't you think, Christy? I mean, there's a lot to cover there.
We are here for you. And here's the thing. You and I have a lot of fun when we host together because there's such an overlap between what you do and helping people with their passion, their purpose, all of that, and your steps in your book that I'm so excited about. And then there's such overlap between that and what I've done for years with Business Boutique of helping people use their gifts and their passion to start a side business or small business. So maybe someone right now is thinking, I want to pay off my debt faster, or I'm just itching to do something new. What's my next step? You and I love helping tag team that because the next step might be a promotion, a job change. It might be a business. It might be both. I don't know. Feeling crazy today. It's Friday, people.
And Christy and I both are very active with Entree Leadership. Hosted those events, hosted the podcast for years. So if you've got a leadership question, hey, I got 2 or 3 people. So we really are opening it up. And I got to say this is such a squirrel moment.
Oh, I'm ready.
Did you have your ring cleaned recently?
You're so kind. No, it's the light. We have good lights.
Okay, because I thought
Matt's like loving. I got to show Matt this clip. He's gonna be so excited, so proud.
When you were doing this a second ago, I literally couldn't focus. It was like blinding me. Siri Myers. I thought, wow, the way to go, Matt Wright.
He did well. But you know what? I did learn a trick. It's not cleaned, but I heard Dawn and a toothbrush, like just dish soap Dawn, cleans it well.
Make sure. See, now this is what people come for. This is more life advice.
I am here for you. Friday, how to clean your ring and make it shiny.
But that cost you how much? Zippo.
That's right.
You've already got the dish detergent. Took you about 30 seconds. So this is the kind of stuff that you come here for. No, we kid. We're going to have fun today. I think, Christy, there's somebody out there right now that's listened to this program for a long time. And it's scary to call in.
Maybe
live.
Dave's scary. Maybe they're scared of Dave. And Dave's not here, so you can call us. We're so
Dave's
nice.
not here. We are so much more fun than Dave.
But you were not as nice last Friday.
Well, that was the one guy. To be fair, it was to his wife, and she needed me to say that.
To be fair, he deserved it.
He deserved it. All right, let's get to the phones. Provo, Utah is where we're going to go to start it off this hour. Grace joins us. Grace, how can we help?
Hi, thanks for taking my call. How are you guys doing?
Well, you can tell we're having fun. What's going on with you?
So I am in college. I'm 19 years old. I just finished my first semester. I'm really, really lucky because my uncle has a 529 account that covers all of my education. It had about $40,000 in there, and I'm going to Brigham Young, so it's really cheap. And I basically went in when I was 18 and I didn't know what I wanted to study. So I went in going into mechanical engineering and because I was fascinated with it, and I failed out of it. I did not do good and I didn't like it. And so I decided to do something that I loved and was interested in, which was Middle Eastern studies and Arabic. And then I realized that was really unwise because it's not really applicable in the workforce. So now I'm kind of lost about what to do going forth.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
Something that will.
Yeah. So do you have another idea that is kind of equally fascinating than the Arabic studies?
That maybe is a little bit more generally could be applied.
Because I don't want to leave the Arabic thing yet. I want to come back to it maybe, but I want to know if you were getting ready to tell us something else that you're equally excited about.
I love being outdoors, so I've looked into going to the wildlife and wildlands conservation majors and the biodiversity conservation and just kind of like the tourism. There's more tourism majors. So basically the outdoors majors are great too.
Yeah.
But
So
I'm also in the Air Force ROTC program. So anything I choose, I will have a career after that. But I'm also unsure about what to do because I'm getting married and my fiance has a good job. If we move around a lot, it changes his income a lot.
okay, so
And
hold on.
that wouldn't be really wise.
So Grace, you are an amazing young lady. You're on top of things, and I want to encourage you for a moment that you need to relax because you're 19 and you're just getting started, and you're considering things that you don't need to consider right now. Now, we know marriage is happening. Great. But you still have to decide what it is you want to do because there, and Christy could take over here. I'm going to give her the baton in just a moment to talk about your mindset, that what you're dealing with. But let's talk for just a second about what you want to do because you may have babies one day, right? You may do who knows what you're going to do. But you'll always have this kind of urge inside of you to do a certain type of work. And I think before you make the next wildlife thing or whatever you decide to do, I want you to actually sit and talk to somebody who's in that outdoor space. Let's just call it that, the outdoor industry. And I want you to talk to 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 10 different people, different positions, different roles. Here's why. When you sit with them and you talk to them, your head is going to get the information that you need. It's almost like doing a college term paper on their job. And then your heart is going to then come in and go ding, 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 or all right? That's what you need to do. Because we know you love the outdoors. So this is a great direction. But I want you to do that and stop thinking about major right now. Stop thinking about career and everything. I want you to just go, what kind of work outside might fire up my soul? And let me go talk to somebody and verify that. Once you do that, now we make the education decision. Now, I'm going to turn you over to Christy because she's thinking ahead. Life, husband, all that. Talk to her about that.
Well, I can't listen to this question, Grace, and not think of my own experience. And I know that my story is not like everyone's story, but my story is super common. And that is what I thought I wanted to do at 19 was different than what I thought I wanted to do at 22, was different than what I thought I wanted to do at 25, and is different than what I'm doing today. It was, I'm going to be a business major. I'm going to start a business. And then it was, I'm going to be an advertising working at an ad agency in New York. I'm going to work in nonprofit for the rest of my life. And then, I'm back to business and business coaching through being an author and speaker. So it's just an evolution. So I just want you to take the pressure off yourself to figure out your whole life at 19.
Yeah.
Okay? You're going to do what you can with the information you have today. But here's what I would encourage you. I love what Ken said. So what I heard in your question, there's a disconnect between the idea of a job and the reality of a job. And so I want you to take your ideas that you have, as niche as they are, because you've got several there, and I want you to go intern, shadow, explore, just like Ken said, get research, talk to people, get as much exposure to those ideas to find the reality in them before you move forward on the education for them. I want you to get the reality of these ideas before you put more money and time into the education. And you can do that through internships, shadowing, researching, talking, just like Ken said. Get more information, and then you'll know what to do next.
All right, Grace, hang on the line. We just debuted my new assessment, the Get Clear Career Assessment. It's going to give you a fantastic report
that's a great idea.
on your talent, your passion, and your missional work that really fires you up. Again, you're 19. This will evolve, but it'll help you. Hang on the line. We'll give that to you. That's going to give you a great start. Don't move. This is The Ramsey Show.
What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices, and they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings.
This is The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Christy Wright, and we are here taking your questions to help you move forward. showing you hope through a clear path to get where you want to and need to go. 888-825-5225 is the phone number. 888-825-5225. Let's get to the phones. Annalise is joining us in Sacramento, California. Annalise, how can we help?
Well, I know, Ken, you talk a lot about finding your sweet spot, and that used to really stress me out because I have so many. Like a lot of people can't even find one, but I have a lot of different interests, and I feel like I want to pursue a career in all of them. So would it be advisable to like get qualified in one career and do that for a little while, but then switch, like just keep on switching? Just like, how do you live a life that way? I feel like people never talk about.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So this is not necessarily a problem. I'm just curious if there's some patterns here. Are we talking about 3 things, 2 things, 7 things, 25 things? When you say that you've got a lot of things, what are we really talking about?
Well, there's probably 3 main things right now, but all these 3 main things have, I've only figured them out in the past few years.
That's okay. All right, so let's do a little fun exercise.
13, by the way, so I feel like I have a lot more discovering to do, and I feel like there'll be even more things that I'm interested in.
Did you say you're 13?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, 13.
That's amazing. I knew he didn't catch that. I was like, he's going to need to know this to answer this question.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I can't ever find the mustard in the refrigerator either. This is why men need women, by the way. I missed that. Okay, so Annalise, we'll both encourage you here. So number 1, you're 13.
And you're awesome for calling in this show when you're 13 asking. That's so cool.
Amazing. So here's the thing.
This is the first time I've ever called into something.
Well, great.
I'm really nervous, but
No, you're
doing awesome. Okay, so let's have a fun exercise, okay? I just want to know what the top 3 are right now. Just list them out for me. 1, 2, and 3. Go.
Yeah, the first is, it's kind of 2 things, but I want to be a model and an actress, so that kind of like Hollywood.
Okay, so we said acting. Did I hear acting?
And then I want to be an aquarist, so it's like the zookeeper of aquariums. You like dive in the tanks and stuff like that.
Aquarium cleaner.
I want to work as some kind of life coach or nutritionalist, some kind of advisor, like with wellness and fitness and stuff.
Okay, so the aquarium cleaner, the actor, and the life coach. Did I hear this correctly?
You got it.
Okay.
You got it.
All right, so this is a great example. Okay, so these are pretty broad and their differences between the different things. Really fascinating, actually. But I think that's really exciting because at 13, you're just learning whatever you can learn about those things. Because the reality is as you kind of move through life, you're going to learn more about yourself. And something that you're interested in, like, let's take the aquarium cleaning thing, might be boring out of your mind 10 years from now. I don't know, and you don't know. So what's really exciting is that you're thinking about these things. Here's what I want you to focus on. If you got something to write with, I want you to focus on enjoying being 13, thinking about these things, all the things, and looking into them. Always explore them. Learn enough about them to where you could pass a basic pop quiz on what's involved. That's what I would recommend in this season. Now, here's what I want you to focus on as you get older. I want you to really focus in on the talent that you have. You've always been able to do these type of things very well. Could be a subject in school, could be a task, a function. And I want you to just pay attention and always be talking to people who know you really well. Hey, what am I best at doing? Second question is, what has always interested me? Now, this may change 4 years from now. So we keep updating this list. This is not like a hard list that stays this way at 13. What do I love to do? What do I love to learn about? What do I love to engage in? And then the third thing is, what results do I really care about? And this is basically thinking about the people you most want to help. And that's going to change too at 13. Who do I want to help? Why do I want to help those people? These are good questions to have in your tool belt as a 13-year-old. And as you get older, answers are going to change and get clearer and clearer and clearer. And there's where you get the clues to what you want to do. But right now, I want you to just explore. Christy?
Yeah, I love that. First of all, I just want to say that you're awesome, that you have a lot of interests. You're like what the Bible talks about, the talents. You're a 10-talent chick. You got a lot of talents. You've got a lot of interests, and that's a good thing, Annalise. That's going to come in handy in your life, and that's not something you need to be frustrated by or ashamed of or anything like that. I think that's so cool. The other thing I would say is there are some of those things that you just named that you could start to explore right now. If you can, in your area, I don't know where or how, if this, I'm sure somewhere in Sacramento there's an aquarium, but go talk to the people. Go talk to the people that clean aquariums. Like I was thinking here in Nashville, Ken, down at Opry Mills Mall, they've got the aquarium restaurant.
Yes.
They've got the divers that go in. If Annalise lived in Nashville, I'd say go down there and say, hey, can I watch you do it? Is there any way I could ever sit in a little kayak on the top when you do it? Could I maybe just swim around while you do it? You know, I don't know what they'd let you do, but you just, hey, ask forgiveness, not permission. Assume that you can and get yourself into these spaces as much as you can. Go audition for acting in some small commercial somewhere, some used car dealership.
Or just a middle school play.
Middle school play, yeah. Anything. Anytime you can dip your toe in the water of these things that interest you, what's going to be so fascinating, Annalise, is you're going to learn so much about yourself in the process. You're going to learn what you like and what you don't like, if you want to keep doing it or if you don't. And that's just such valuable information. By the way, that's something you can continue to do your whole life. I'd give the same advice to someone if they were 23 or 43, to just explore those things before you dive into them, no pun intended. So
yeah.
that's awesome.
Well done, Christy.
Hey,
folks, she showed up ready to play today. You know, one other thing that I want you to speak to as well is I know you and I are passionate about this message. Annalise, one other thing I want you to hear, just kind of a philosophical thought here, is as you get older and you begin to explore and do the things that we were talking about, and your heart says yes, but your head goes, I don't know. Really listen to the heart. Be careful with adults telling you, oh, that may not be the safest or the smartest path. They mean well, but you got to listen to your heart. Now, this is all assuming that you actually have the talent to pull this off. I could have the heart to play NBA basketball, Christy, but as you know, now we're moving into delusion.
It's a fine line. It's a fine line there.
Not
between
in that situation, it's
dreamer
not.
and delusion. Where is the line? I don't know. No, that's such a good point. And the other thing that's interesting is because you're so curious, Annalise, at such a young age, thinking about the future, you're going to know more at 17 and 24 and 33. There are people that call in this show that are much older than you asking the same question, but you're just going to have a head start to know what those things are that you're good at. And then the more confidence you have, the more you'll be able to withstand those people that go, oh, you can't do that. You can't be an actor. And you're like, really? Because I've been doing it for 10 years. Thanks. So
it's so true.
It's so true. You're starting early.
And then life hits you, right? And you've got these dreams and things, and then you got babies, and you got, or maybe a parent with health issues, or you've got all kinds of things you got to do, and you're going, how do I get back to this moment? And that's why I want to talk about a great tool that you have. We have a lot of adults that are listening right now. They're going, hey, I want to get there, but Christy, I'm just trying to spin the plates. I want to tell them about your free new life balance quiz. Text the word busy. If you're just feeling this right now, you just need some clarity and just some relief that, hey, I'm not abnormal, but I can get out of this. Text the word busy to 33789. It's the word busy. Text that to 33789. It pretty much should be everybody listening right now. If you're going, I don't know about that. It's a great quiz, Christy. And also, I want to talk about the new book. It's right there on the desk for people watching. Look at this. Take Back Your Time. Tell people what this book is. The
Guilt-Free Guide to Life Balance. Well, it's so fun, Ken, because both of our books are in pre-sale at the same time.
But we're only talking about yours right now.
About very
Just
different
yours.
topics. But it's about...
They work together.
Figuring out what your version of life balance is. You don't have to live with this guilt that's been nagging at you that you're always doing the wrong thing.
Yes.
You can actually shake the guilt, create your version of balance, and guess what? Enjoy your life. And that's what I want to help you do. In my new book, it's available for pre-order, and you get all kinds of free bonus items when you get it today.
RamseySolutions.com. It's about doing the right thing at the
right time.
It's such a bomb drop. I love that. I love teeing you up to do that. Hey, don't move. She is Christy Wright. I'm Ken Coleman. We're here for you. This is The Ramsey Show. This is The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Christy Wright, and we are here to take your questions. It is a free call, 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. We'd be thrilled to talk with you, whatever you want to talk about. Life in general, of course. We'll talk about money. We'll talk about your work. We'll talk about your business. We'll talk about your time. We'll talk about
Cleaning aquariums.
Cleaning aquariums. We'll talk, how do you chase the thing while you're a parent? We both have interesting perspectives on that as well. So, look, we're here to help. 888-825-5225. Let's go to Wichita, Kansas now. Amy joins us on the line there. Amy, how can we help?
Hi, thank you for speaking with me.
Sure, what's up?
I was calling to ask about business burnout. I own a business that has 2 retail locations, and I just find myself stretched very thin, not knowing which direction to go. I do have employees, but not quite the revenue to add more. And so I'm just looking for guidance on how to get everything done without being completely worn out at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's a great question. You're in a tough spot with that. Tell me a little bit more about your business. What is your business, and who's in charge? Do you have a manager on duty? Do you have someone like that's each center's director or manager? How does that work for your business?
We have 2 gift and flower shops that are retail, so we do everything from everyday flowers, funeral flowers, wedding flowers. And I have 2 retail locations, but I manage basically everything. I have a couple of employees that are full-time and a couple part-time in each location, but it's still a little short. I still feel like I'm the one having to fix the receipt printer every day rather than focusing on what I need to focus on, and I just can't get myself over that hump.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. If you went out of town for a week, what would happen?
Well, I don't do that.
I know. Let's run out this scenario, though. Here's what I'm trying to do, Amy. I'm trying to find the problems. Is it a delegation problem? Is it a competency problem? Is it short-staffed problem? I'm trying to find what are the problems, because I want to help you fix the problems so that you're not burning out. This is fixable. That's the great news. It's very fixable, but we need to know what's the true problem. It's not the receipt printer. That's a symptom. I want to get to the source here.
So Amy, I think you need to answer her question. She wasn't just trapping you. I specifically think you need to tell Christy what would happen. I want to know too. Go.
I think everything would be fine for those 2 weeks, but it's the future planning that would fall behind. In our business, we have to plan pretty seasonally ahead of time. And so for those 2 weeks, I feel confident that my staff would have it covered, but it's the lack of the next 2 weeks, then would things be ordered? Would there be things? It's that lack of organization and that lack of delegation that I'm lacking. And I feel like it's because I'm so far behind, I can't get myself enough ahead to plan ahead for those things. Yeah.
All right. I'm just going to give you something super tactical, Amy, because sometimes burnout is an issue of your emotion and your headspace. This sounds like it's super tactical. I'm sure there's an element of headspace, but let's fix the tactical because that's so fixable. I want you to make a list of your ideal schedule, your ideal job responsibilities, your job description, your key results areas. You would define it for yourself. In a perfect world, what would you spend your time doing? I'm guessing it's not fixing the receipt printer, right? Like it's probably all this planning, strategy, the things that only you can do. Let's say in your perfect world, you're going to spend 80% of your time doing those types of things, planning things, strategy, etc. The other 20% of the time, there's going to be fires that you have to put out, and there's going to be things you have to deal with, and that's what you do as the owner. That makes sense. I want you to write out that list. Now, all the things that you're currently doing that don't fall on that ideal list, I want you to find a solution for. Now, you've got several options for solutions. One solution is to delegate to someone that is currently competent. Another solution is to train someone up to be competent in that thing. Another solution is to hire and then figure out how to get your revenues up to be able to afford that person. Another solution is to just stop doing it. Let's say you're doing something right now that's just stupid and you don't need to be doing it, and you're wasting your time doing it. It's taking your time, your employees' time, and you just don't need to do it anymore. You're like, well, let's just stop doing it. I'm going to make up some exaggerated example. Let's say you write handwritten notes to every order. Well, that's just crazy. You don't have to do that. Just stop, right? Like there may be things on your list that you can just stop doing. I want you to go through every single task that you currently do that you don't need to be doing, it's not on your ideal list, and come up right out to the side a solution for that thing. Immediately, you now can see what you need to do, how you're going to free up your margin. Now, then it's going to be on you, Amy, to actually live it out. Okay, so that means that when you find yourself and your temptation to micromanage, because no one loves it like you do and no one can tie that bow like you can, to get yourself out of the weeds, because it's so tempting as the business owner to get in the weeds because no one can do it as good as you can. It's your baby. I get that. But you need to be doing what only you can do. The business survivability depends on it. But I want to give you something else too. So, Amy, we have our Business Boutique Conference coming up in October. It's October 14th through the 16th. And we've got incredible speakers. It's 3 days here in Nashville. I would love to give you a ticket. If you can't attend in person, it's also a live stream option. But stay on the phone. We'll have Kelly give you a ticket to the Business Boutique Conference. And that's going to give you that much more information to help you figure out how to delegate, how to market, how to spend your time on the things that are going to actually ROI, give you a return on your investment where it keeps you in your lane of doing what only you can do. I know that sounds so tactical, but this problem is very tactical. It's very fixable. If you can delegate and get yourself in the lane you need to be in, I think it's going to help you with that burnout.
Yeah, and Amy, I want to go back to the question that Christy asked. It was like a searing spear. I hope you don't miss it. She said, what would you do? What would happen to the business if you were gone for 2 weeks? And you're like, well, it would be fine, but it would be the planning. So I got a suggestion, and you can do what you want with this. But if that's true, and I believe you were telling us the truth, then why don't you at least take a week for a little vacation? And maybe half of that next week and do some planning.
Yep.
And then based on the incredible advice that Chrissy just gave you, part of the thing that's on the list for you is planning. Mm-hmm. And so if they can manage without you for 2 weeks, how much better would the business be if you spent a good portion of each week just planning?
That's right.
And let everybody else do the other things. So one other final piece of advice, I think you need to go get the beautiful song from Frozen, Let It Go, and maybe play it in the car every day as you drive in. Because I think you gave her terrific advice. If she has that list and she really, I'm having fun with the silly song.
I know.
But she's got to let that other stuff go.
She does. Here's the other thing, though. I want to use an example with kids real quick because this just came to mind. Listen, there was one day when Carter was driving me crazy. He didn't like the dinner options I put on the table, and I had absolutely had it. And I said, that's it. Make yourself whatever you want. And he said, okay. And that little child, this was back like a year or so ago, so he's probably 5 and a half. He walks over the pantry. He gets a stool. He goes over. He gets the bread, the peanut butter. That I stood back in awe as my child made his own peanut butter and jelly sandwich, something he'd never done before, and I didn't know he could do. Why? Yeah. Because I always do it for him. That's great. Amy, I wonder what your team members could do if you just sat back and let them impress you.
It's a great analogy. Let me ask you this follow-up question. He probably got some peanut butter and jelly all over the place.
It was a giant mess.
Perfect. But wait a second. But he still got it done.
He did it, and he even cleaned it up. I said, okay, you need to clean. Like it was not like how I make them. But it was food.
That's the beauty.
It was food that nourished him, and I didn't have to lift a finger. And that moment was so eye-opening to me of, what else can my kids do that I'm not aware of because I'm just so busy doing it for them? And it's not that I don't want to do it, Ken. It's that it never occurred to me that they were capable. And I think that as a business owners, and I certainly can relate to this, we feel that in our business going, well, I've got to do it because only I know how, and only I can do it this good, and they don't know how. And it's like, hey, what if you just let them and see what happens?
Yeah, and as the business owner, be okay with peanut butter getting all over the counter or whatever.
And
it's going
be ready
to. They're not going to do it.
Be ready that they may do it better than you. And you're like, dang, okay.
I would have been thrilled to hear that the rest of the story was that he cut the crust off, and he had this beautiful little diamond cut on it. And you're like,
that didn't how it went.
That didn't happen.
But hey, he made the sandwich. He ate the sandwich, and
he was happy.
And we both learned something from that.
Mama
that was
and
powerful.
son were happy.
That's right.
By the way, I don't know if this is coincidental or not. I don't know about you all in the booth. I want a PB&J right now. Haven't had one in so long. Good stuff.
Carter can make you one.
Amy, thank you for the call. Really good stuff. You got this. Don't move. More of the Ramsey Show coming right up. is The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Christy Wright, with Ramsey Personalities. She is the host of The Christy Wright Show on the Ramsey Network. She's also a #1 best-selling author. Her new book, Take Back Your Time, The Guilt-Free Guide to Life Balance, is available for pre-sale. And fantastic, fantastic stuff. I host the Ken Coleman Show on the Ramsey Network. And my new book, From Paycheck to Purpose, The Clear Path to Doing Work You Love, is also available for pre-sale. So a lot of people are saying on social, hey, I can buy both of these together because you got the discounts because they can pre-order now. The book comes out later, of course, so a lot of people are doing that. So you know what? It makes a lot of sense because if you're going to be on purpose in your work, which is everything that I'm teaching, hey, you were created to fill a unique role. You were needed. You must do it. But to go for that, look, the reality is there's family stuff, there's finance stuff, there's failure, worried about all that. There's a lot of stuff, there's a lot going on in people's life. How do I move from one career to the next? Well, all that I teach is great, but if you don't know how to do the right thing at the right time, which is the premise of your book, and understanding there are seasons, then it can be really tough. So they are actually a nice little combo, if I do say so myself.
It really is, and I hadn't thought about that because you and I are so, when we're not inside the studio together on Fridays,
we each have
running,
3 kids and lots going on.
We're just running so hard.
Yeah.
But I got a message on social media the day that your book launched. I think this was last Monday.
Yep.
When it launched, I got a message saying, because I'd shared it.
Wait, it was this Monday, I think. It feels like time is standing still. Yeah, that's right.
This Monday,
yeah,
yes.
Yeah,
okay.
That's right.
So I shared it, on Instagram, and someone messaged me, I've been waiting for this to go on pre-sale because I wanted to get them at the same time, save on shipping, et cetera, and then you get all the bonus items. But what's interesting, Ken, is one of the things I think people may not know about our company, Ramsey Solutions, and certainly you and I, that I think is worth saying. We are a company, like as a value, as a principle, we want to give you a step-by-step plan. In case you haven't noticed that, it's not a coincidence that everything we put out is a step-by-step plan. But of course, why? Because if we just inspire you and give you 200 pages in a book or 150 pages in a book that inspires you, that's great. You're inspired for a minute, and then you don't know what to do about it. Yeah. And so I've taken this idea of balance and given you a step-by-step path to creating your version of balance. You've taken this idea of a career where some people think it's cool to have a Jerry Maguire moment where you grab the goldfish and say, who's with me? And then you don't have a plan. You're like, no. Let's have a plan.
That's right.
And you break this down into your step-by-step plan on exactly what you do in order to make your next move. And so you can look at your path. Is it 7 steps?
7 stages.
And you can see, like even when I was on the show with you the other day, on your show, the Ken Coleman Show, I could look at that and see where different callers were coming in at. Oh, you're at the get connected stage. You're at the get qualified stage. And then it makes it so clear because when you have a plan, and this is with anything, y'all, running a marathon, managing your time, moving careers, getting a promotion, starting a business, whatever. When you can see it, you can do it.
That's right.
When you can see step by step, this is what I need to do, you can do it. It's when you don't know what to do that you feel overwhelmed and anxious. So that's why we do what we do in the way that we do it. Everything you get from us will be a step-by-step plan. And by the way, it freaking works.
It works.
Yeah.
You're right. The fear of the unknown is, to me, the most gripping fear. You and I are both parents, and I mean, you're a little bit.
I'm in it right now.
You're in it right now with the littles, right? But I also got 3 teens, so I may trade you, to be honest with you. There are days where I go, I don't know, I may want to trade. But, I remember when the kids were little, and I remember when I was little, there was a point where we all kind of get scared of something in our room. Right? And we're like, is that a thing? Is that a person? Is that a monster?
Is that just a child thing? Because that still happens to me.
Oh, does it really? Yeah. So what do? You're like, Matt, could you look into that?
Have you heard my lake house story where the power went out and I literally drove back to Nashville from Alabama because I was so scared? True story, Ken. I'm at the lake house. I'm at the lake. It's by myself. It's like 10 o'clock in the evening. I'm watching The Greatest Showman. All the lights are on. We have a place on the water.
Yeah,
and it's small, but it like overlooks water. So
and you hear something or you think you see something?
The power goes out, Ken.
Just the power. That's it.
The killer was for sure outside, and he cut the power.
I'm sorry. I did not mean to minimize your fear. But what I'm trying to understand, you're sitting there watching the movie, and the power goes out.
Yes.
And you say,
the killer is outside.
I'm going to die if I don't get in the car and drive back.
Well, there was a couple more steps. I lit a bunch of candles, grabbed a butcher knife, and then I realized the terrifying person in that whole scenario was me.
But you still left.
And then I blew out the candles, took my butcher knife, and drove directly back to Nashville. So much so that I talked to my husband as I'm driving home. He goes, babe, I'm a little concerned about you driving at 10 at night. I was like, I'm so wired I could drive to California.
Yeah, there was no chance you were going to sleep.
No. The killer was outside. I'm like, this is the part in the scary movie where you're in the audience. You go, girl, you got to run. And so I did.
This is fantastic. So this is the fear of the unknown. Because here's the deal. If Matt's there, you say,
You fix it. Yeah.
And so Matt goes out with a flashlight.
And he's like,
Who
nothing's
knows?
there. Right.
And he goes and he looks. But until we know.
Right. That it's safe. Yeah.
It's the tyranny of the mind.
Oh, my gosh.
And so you're absolutely right about clear paths. When you can see, okay, I don't know the specific outcome. I don't know necessarily the timing, but I know this is the direction. That's what we need many times to summon the courage to actually move forward, to say there's a clear path. And if I do this, if I walk forward, it's going to happen. And I think you're absolutely right. We need more of that, in our lives, whether it be parenting, your marriage, your work, your business, your time, and your life. How do I get control? So anyway, great stuff. It is really, really fun. We'll talk more about that later, but you can pre-order both of our books, RamseySolutions.com, all kinds of goodies. We'll talk more about that later. 888-825-5225. Let's go to Hunter in Detroit. Hunter, how can we help?
Hey, Ken. Hey, Christy.
Hi. What's going on?
So, I love the place at work.
Hello, Hunter, you there?
I'm sorry, I got another phone call.
Hey, would you mind telling them to hold that we're live on the radio right now? That'd be great. Thank you.
I was like, man, he's so bored in his job, he's falling asleep.
Yeah, we definitely need to get you out of that work, I think. Yeah.
So I like where I work. I like the ownership, the management, the benefits are phenomenal. The pay is good. Mm-hmm. I just don't like the work that I do.
Yeah.
What is it?
And I'm in the machining industry.
Yeah. So we would call that, we've got a should I quit my job quiz at kencoleman.com, and your result would be you're doing the wrong thing in the right place, meaning you like the place, you like the people. It's a nice culture.
That's a big deal.
You got to understand that.
I don't necessarily like most of the people there. It's not like a
that's an important detail, Hunter.
Work, but
yeah. So what's your question?
I'm just struggling finding to get clear pretty much on what I want to do. I know I love helping people.
Yeah. Real quick, tell me the people you love helping most. What problem do they have that you love helping them with?
Just mostly anything.
Yeah,
whether it be
dig deeper. Come on, Hunter. I know you're one of the nicest people that's ever walked the face of the earth. I could tell that about you. Who would you love to help the most if you could get paid for it? Let your heart answer that. Just say it. Doesn't have to be pretty. What is it?
So I love helping other young adults get financially clear.
Okay, now we're on to something. There's a why behind that. Why? Why do you want to help other people get financially clear and stable?
Because I'm doing it myself, and I want to see other people succeed in their careers and their personal lives and their financial lives.
There you go. Okay, so let's just pause here. We don't have to figure all this out, okay? But what you have to then do is you have to say, okay, I know the mission that I want to complete. So now we go, what's the work that I love to do that will allow that mission to come to fruition? Is it coaching? Is it financial advising when it comes to retirement and investing? Is it teaching a curriculum in a school? That's what we have to figure out. What's the work that really fires up your soul? And then the final piece, I'm kind of coming backwards from my methodology, Hunter, is do I have the talent to pull this off? I want to make sure that I've got the actual tools to do this. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to hang on the line. Kelly, let's give him my brand new career assessment. It's called the Get Clear Career Assessment. You said, Ken, I need to get clear. It's going to measure your talent, your passion, and your mission. It's going to fill out a purpose statement for you and show you professional possibilities. And then if you need to dig deeper, call the Ken Coleman Show and we will dive deep. But Hunter, you're on your way. You know who you want to help and why. And that's half of the equation. Hey, I want to thank my colleague, Christy Wright. So much fun this hour. I want to thank our producer, Ben Hill, our associate producer, Kelly Daniel. But mostly, we want to thank you, America. You're why we do the show. This is The Ramsey Show.
Have a friend or family member that needs a daily dose of Ramsey advice in their life? Let them know about the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast. It's a quick hit of advice about life and money in under 10 minutes. Check out the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studio. This is The Ramsey Show. It's where America hangs out to have a conversation, to get answers about life. I am Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague and, well, you don't say fellow. Would I say sister? You don't say that either. Fellow Ramsey personality. Doesn't seem right. Christy Wright. We got to figure out what the technical term is for that. You know, I know what that means in general. My colleague is what I would normally say, but my fellow, but you're not a fellow. We all know that. So we'll dig into that. And then the next time on the hour, I'll just say that a little bit differently.
We'll Google that at the next break.
Yes. It's 2021, Christy. You got to be careful how you say things these days.
Not with
me. Not with you?
Not with me.
Okay. It flowed out fellow, and then I went, she's not a fellow.
Listen, in a world where everybody has a chip on their shoulder, I just make it a point to not.
Yeah.
How about that?
And you and
I just make it a point to just believe the best, assume good intentions, and go with that.
Yeah. So
things turn out better, by the way. There's a little nugget for you guys.
They do. It's going to be okay. And we have a tremendous amount of fun when we get to be together. We have a lot of in sync thoughts and heart towards people. Plus, we can answer the money questions, and we can talk about your business, starting a side hustle. Christy with Business Boutique doing some crazy stuff. Hey, you feel like life is spinning out of control, and you're just like, time is a real problem. She can help you there. It can help you with your work, moving up, figuring out what you want to do with your life. What were you born to do? How do I make more money? And then, of course, the money question. So it's wide open. We have a blast working together to help you. It is a free phone call. I don't know why you wouldn't do it. 888-825-5225. Christy said, if you've wanted to call in but you're scared of Dave, you don't have to be scared of us. She said that, not me, Dave.
We're not scary.
In case Dave is listening.
Do you think he'll watch this? I don't know.
He might. I don't think he does. He's got a lot going on.
No.
888-825-5225 is the number. You got something?
Well, I was just going to remind people, when you're thinking about calling in, one of the things that you and I are great at in particular is helping you get your income up.
Yes.
So whether that's because you want to pay for Disney,
shovel.
You want to have a bigger shovel, you want to pay off your debt faster, you just want to make more money, period. Whatever that is, Ken and I, in our different ways, are great at helping you come up with strategies to make more money, whether that's a promotion, through your job, through a business, or some combination. So if you are thinking about how you can get your income up, how you can make more money, to make more progress on your financial goals faster, we're the people to call. So give us a call. 888-825-5225.
All right, let's do it. Justin joins us in Houston, Texas. Justin, how can we help?
Howdy, everyone. I am in baby step 4, 5, and 6. And first of all, I just want, that is a blessing to be in that spot. So what I'm about to say, I don't want to make it sound like I'm complaining, but we've optimized everything in our lives in terms of, financially. We're exactly where we should be at this point in time. But I got to be honest, I'm a little bit kind of unmotivated because, paying off our house is still 9 or 10 years away, and kids' college is still a number of years away. So there's no, real immediate wins that I see in our future other than just every month, the first of every month, it's like, cha-ching, a little bit more equity in the house, a little bit more money in the bank, a little bit more money in retirement, and a little bit more money to our church. But besides that, there's really nothing to get the juices going. So do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah. Yes, we do.
We have thoughts on everything.
So, Justin, I think, are we talking just money context? Because if we are, it might change my answer. Are you looking for a game to win with your money? Is that specifically why you're calling?
I mean, I got a beautiful family and a great job, and there's a lot of great things going on. But so, I guess I would say more financially because
That's what I thought.
It sounds like
somewhat bored with it.
Well, it sounds like you're a goal-oriented person that doesn't have a goal.
That's exactly right.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, I spent the past 6 months, like, getting life insurance squared away, getting, like, fine-tuning everything with our will.
You're a doer.
Like, there's nothing left to do now.
Yep. You're a doer, and you don't know what to do, right? Yep, I got it. Go ahead, Ken, then I'll jump in.
Well, I'll just say this. I think you've got a narrative problem. I don't think you're bored. I think you feel bored. I think that's real, that you feel bored. But I think you've got a narrative problem where you're just running this thing out. And Christy's right. You got it on the rails. This thing is on the rails. But I think you're forgetting that each month that this thing just stays on the rails, that you're just doing all of the stuff you're supposed to do. You are making massive, massive progress. Don't forget that you've got to kind of get in this routine to end up where you want to get to, where the end of the road and the house is paid off. And then baby step 7, you're living like no one else. The only other thing I'd say, I'll turn it over to Christy on this one, but the only other thing I'd say is that's the first issue that I see. The second thing is I think you could carve out something to do with your money and make some progress in another area, maybe in a form of giving or investing into something or somebody outside of our traditional 15% towards retirement. That's what I'm saying. I think you could find some type of incentive to do something with your money. I would challenge you on that issue as well.
Justin, I just want to say one thing. No, it's not just one. That's totally false advertising. I have several things to say. Justin, first, how you're feeling is normal. A lot of people in 4, 5, and 6 feel this way because you've been so gazelle intense, and it's such a specific milestone when you've accomplished baby step 1, $1,000, baby step 2, debt-free, baby step 3, emergency fund funded. It's so specific that when you get into this, it's more of a marathon, not a sprint, and it's just this kind of gray area. It's not like you're still investing. You're going to be doing this simultaneously for a while. That's super normal. So let me just encourage you that it's normal. Second thing I would say is you can choose to get intense about any of those things anytime you want to. I have been hosting the show with Dave, and the last few times I've hosted with him, almost every single debt-free scream is someone that's paid off their house because they just chose to get intense about their house. You can always do that if you want to. Don't have to, but that's an option if that would motivate you. And then third, and this is something just like Ken said, if you're a goal-oriented person and you don't have a goal, just make a goal. Just decide. Just make something up, Justin. I'm going to make up something. Just say, what if this Christmas we went to Walmart and paid off the layaways of $10,000 worth of people? And you save up between now and December, and you that's exciting. I made that up, but you can do that. Let me give you a running example. When I get bored with my running, because I love to run, I just make up new goals. I have run the country music marathon normal. I've tried to PR it. I've run it pregnant. I've run it 12 weeks after having Carter, pregnant with Conley.
Okay, we know you're awesome. Could you please stop for those of us who don't run a lot? Jeez, I'm feeling more guilty with each time she ticks off another thing.
It's not impressive to you.
I did it with a bag of rocks one time. I did it with a person on my shoulders. What else is left?
Hey, I should run it with you on my back. That would be Ken is so pissed.
Are we close to a commercial break?
The point is not that I'm impressive. The point is that I set new challenges.
I know.
I set new challenges.
Yeah, I know.
Justin, if you're good with your money, set a new challenge for yourself that excites you. Find something that excites you. I'm actually not that great of a runner.
Okay.
I just challenged myself, people. It was slow.
Yeah.
It was a slow run, and I was...
Okay, so we got to do this thing called a commercial break. I'm going to go set some goals and set some physical challenges and do some push-ups in the studio just to be able to sit at the desk with the force of nature that is known as Christy Wright. Hey, don't move.
The Ramsey Show.
Still on baby step number 1, eh?
How'd you guess?
With healthcare costs rising, learn how Christian Healthcare Ministries can help you make the most out of your budget. Visit chministries.org/budget.
Don't worry, it's worth it.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, Ramsey personality and host of The Ken Coleman Show on the Ramsey Network. I'm joined by my colleague, Christy Rice. She's the host of The Christy Rice Show and is also a Ramsey personality. Thrilled to have you with us. And we are taking your calls today on your life, your money, your work, and beyond. How many of you are working your dream job? Turns out most people aren't. But work doesn't have to be a four-letter word. You are meant for more than mediocre work. My new book is entitled From Paycheck to Purpose, The Clear Path to Doing Work You Love. It's now available for pre-order. So it doesn't matter who you are, where you are, what industry, what type of work. If you've got a place you want to be in the marketplace, work, money, all of it, and meaning, we've got a step-by-step plan. You can get the Get Hired bonus pack and the Get Promoted bonus pack free when you pre-order the book. That's over $100 of value. You can go to RamseySolutions.com and you can pre-order From Paycheck to Purpose today for only $20 and get the $100 worth of free bonus items.
Give me that book. Let me see this while you're talking about this. I want to show your book for YouTube people that are on YouTube because it's so beautiful. And tell them.
I've never been called beautiful in my life. Could somebody record this?
I said the book was.
I'm sorry.
The design. See, you just happen to be a part of it.
Yeah. Selective listening. Yeah.
Hey, explain for people that have never pre-ordered a book before, because you and I do this all the time, so we know. Explain why you should pre-order. Explain why we do pre-order and what they get for pre-ordering, because we know that it's not going to get mailed to you till your launch date of
November 9th.
November 9th.
Yeah.
But if you pre-order, we are going to bribe you with all this stuff / reward, say thank you with all this stuff, because it helps us with our marketing and all of that good stuff.
We're trying to drive to a bestseller list so that more people outside of Ramsey Solutions, right, those of you that listen to the show, will buy the book. And so we drive that. So there's the strategic reason, but we also bribe you with the $100 of free stuff, and depending on if you want to get hired or get promoted, that's why we have those two different bonus offerings. But I also have to mention, the deal that's popping right now at RamseySolutions.com is the assessment, the Get Clear Career Assessment, which will measure your talent, passion, and mission, fill out your purpose statement, and show you professional possibilities. You get that for $30, and basically the book's for free. You get the assessment and the book all for $30. So that's kind of stupid.
And this is such a good assessment
deal.
Because it shows you. It was just like what we were talking about. It shows you what you need to do. I love the cover.
Thank you.
When y'all were testing,
I was very nervous.
This is my pick.
You did pick. Christy did pick that one.
Do I look just like it? Leaned it like a so. You look so approachable.
Thank you.
It's so relatable, and what's amazing.
It gives me anxiety, as you know.
Hey, it's like what we just said: the clear path to doing work you love. The clear path.
But here, hand me yours for a second. We just talked about my book, so now I got to look, because if you said all these nice things, but look at this guy. I mean, this guy or this gal. I'm never going to be able to look like that.
Feet off or hands folded?
Feet off?
Feet off.
Shoes. She does have feet. That alarmed a lot of people right there. That was scary.
I am the most talented footless runner in the United States.
Oh, here we go again with the running. By the way.
Then I tried to run a marathon with actually no feet.
That's true.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. I meant shoes.
I know.
Wait, listen, it's Friday. This is what you get if you put me on Friday.
So there you go.
Christy.
And by the way, you can get her book as well. So I don't know why you wouldn't buy both right now. RamseySolutions.com.
We're having fun. Call us. Call us.
I got to mention this because there's cash involved before we move on. Because it's the pre-order of the book here, the launch of From Paycheck to Purpose, they're giving away $500 cash every week this month, Christy. And then I guess at the end of the month, they're giving away $3,000. So if you text the word cash to 33789. Like, you could not even, I'm just helping people. You could care less about my book. But if you text the word cash to 33789, you might win some money. So I would at least do that.
Yes.
Just trying to help people out.
Get cash. Get cash.
888-825-5225 is the phone number. 888-825-5225. Aaron joins us in Portland, Oregon. Aaron, how can we help?
Hey, how are you guys doing? Thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
Sure.
What's going on?
Hey, so quick, I just need a question for you guys. My wife and I are both, we're debt-free.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Including the house.
Whoa.
Wow. Way to go.
Thank you. And we have a pretty good amount in our IRAs and non-IRA accounts. So I am thinking of the company I work for merged with a bigger company last February. so 2020, right before COVID hit, we went from 80 employees to about 900. And since that time, the infrastructure has been pretty no communication and all of that. So it's just been a struggle. So for a whole year, I've been thinking of making a change and went through the master's program for coaching, got that all done. And I think we're at that point where I was going to call you and just say, hey, is this a good time, since we're debt free, have emergency fund, have a good retirement? Is it time for me to spread my wings and look elsewhere?
Well, maybe. Let's go to the coaching thing. Why did you do the financial coach master training here at Ramsey Solutions? Tell us.
My wife and I went through Financial Peace University, and that's how we became debt free.
Sure.
After that, at work, monthly, I actually put in a little financial spot in our newsletter for our company. We talk about the baby steps. We talk about debt-free. We talk about budgeting, and patients that I deal with and work with are a lot older. So you can see the struggle that they're having with cataract surgeries or some things like that. So I tend to sit with them and we visit about about budget and all of that. So, it's just something that I've always wanted to do for the last 3 years when it took my wife and I to pay off the house. And
so Aaron, you should do it. Mm-hmm. You should do it, but this does not require you to leave your current job. Okay, but you should start coaching. Right. You should start saying, all right, I'm going to charge for my coaching. Our FCMT program is fantastic. You've been through the training, but they also help you grow your business. And you know that you're going to have to get out there and one foot in front of the other. We got to get one client. We got to coach them up. We got to keep coaching them. And then we got to move on to the next. This is an entrepreneurial journey. Christy could speak to this, but I think the answer is absolutely yes, you start it. I don't think you leave it. Quick question. How much money do you make right now? What's your salary?
Well, we have a household income of about $100,000. So,
so if I told you,
it goes between.
If I told you that you could make $100,000, okay, being a financial coach, would you hesitate or would you jump?
I jump.
All right, there's your answer. All right, Christy, tell him how he does this. How does he build this from scratch?
Yeah, you just
on the side.
Exactly like you said, it's not going to be a jump. We're going to build it up to where it's a step. And that's what we tell people when you're starting a side gig. You keep the full-time job, you keep the steady salary, and you start this on the side and you build it up so much so you're getting more clients and more hours and more revenue, more income up until you can live on that amount of money. Now, it doesn't have to be $100,000 when you take the step or jump, as you want to say it. Maybe you build it up to 50 or 60 and it's just continuing to climb. Then you can quit the full-time job and work on it full-time, working towards $100,000 on that side business. But I just want to encourage you. We have a ton of resources here, Aaron, through our financial coach team. They do coaching calls. We do events in the fall. I'll be speaking at their event called Enrichment in September.
Yeah, I'll be there.
And Ken and I will both be there. So we love to help coaches build their businesses into profitable businesses, because it's not just the coaching, it's not just what you're doing, it's the business aspect you need to know as well. And I just want you to know, Aaron, those resources are available to you from a support standpoint and ongoing standpoint. That's so right. Just know if you want to do it, we'll help you do that.
And Aaron, you have worked so hard.
You're doing awesome.
You have the financial freedom to do this.
Yes.
But we're still not going to jump. We're going to just build this thing. I would re-engage, as Christy said, with our financial coach resources. Build this thing one person at a time. Before you know it, you're going to be doing it full time. I love your heart. You love coaching people. Pursue it. Don't feel the pressure to do it all super fast and super big. You got this. Thank you so much for the call. My colleague is Chrissy Wright. I'm Ken Coleman. We're Ramsey Personalities. You are listening to The Ramsey Show. have joined the conversation here on The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Christy Wright. We are thrilled to be together to help you, to serve you. Here's how we do it. It's a free phone call. 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. We'll talk about your money. We'll talk about your side hustle, the business. We'll talk about your time. We'll talk about your work and your career and moving up, getting that bigger shovel, making more money. We'll even talk leadership. You know, Christy, it occurs to me that the other day, you know, it's like people want to get promoted. It's one of the stages, my 7 stages, get promoted. But if you're going to get promoted, it's almost guaranteed you're going to be in some type of leadership role. You know, it's very rare that you would get promoted and not lead. Yeah. So Christy and I are very involved with Entree Leadership, and we can answer your leadership questions. Here's a fun one. Some of you are in a very toxic work situation, and I get those questions all the time on the Ken Coleman Show, but I want to take on one of those with you. Okay. Because of the leadership component. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, okay, what do I do here? Or how about I'm running a small business, and I got a high performer who's a cancer. But it's a little, I mean, I'd love for you to take those kind of questions on too. It's all over the place.
It's so interesting too, because a lot of the questions we get, they come in as like, oh, this is a leadership question, or this is a business question, or this is even a money question. And we dig into it, and it's actually a people question. It always comes down to a relationship issue. Yep. And Ken and I love helping unpack that with you. So give us a call. 888-825-5225.
All right, let's go to Pensacola, Florida, where Jody joins us. Jody, how can we help?
Thank you kindly for hearing me out.
Sure. What's going on?
Thank you. I'm a retired military officer.
Thank you for your service.
Yes, thank you.
You are a great American.
I discovered Mr. Ramsey after I became debt-free.
Wow.
All right.
And I also own my own home.
Awesome.
And yes, thank you. I'm flying solo now, operating a small hobby farm. And I'm looking for a less painful side hustle than what I do now.
Yeah. You mean like physically taxing?
Mentally and physically.
Yeah.
It's just what I'm doing now as a side hustle. It's a lot of work, and it's just becoming less enjoyable.
Okay.
How much money is it spitting off for you?
How much money?
Yeah, how much you making off of it?
I started doing the side hustle September 2nd, and I have total, now this is gross, I've made $10,900 from doing it.
And this is this past September?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Well, let's just start with your ideas. Let's just kind of walk through this. What ideas do you have for something that you would like to do on the side? Have you been working on that and thinking about it?
Oh, yes. Yes, I think about it every day. What I've been doing since September, since I have a small hobby farm, I joined a couple agri-tourism venues where dry campers, RVs, fifth wheels, tent campers, boondock, stay overnight on my land in exchange for either paying up front or with the second venue, they stay overnight here free with the suggestion that they buy a product from me in exchange for the free stay. And from that, I average about $40 per reservation. But I'm enjoying doing that less and less. It just seems to be becoming more toxic. I used to enjoy it, the interaction with people, the old school RVers who are genial, cordial, and very interesting. But increasingly, there's just become more drama, more problems.
Jody, here's what I want you to do. I want you to tell Christy those things that you're really excited about. When she asked you that, you were like, oh, yes. There was a little bit of a spark. What are these ideas that you've had?
It's not these toxic RVers.
Yeah, what are you excited about?
What's the idea that sounds good? Let's start with that one.
Yes.
Doing what I do now without the element of them staying on property overnight. I love teaching. I've been making kombucha beverage every week for 16 years, and I've been selling that to my guests. And I also teach workshops. There's an increasing number of folks who are interested in micro brewing or becoming a micro brewery or a brewmeister, making their own kombucha as a health beverage. I'm sure you're familiar with it.
Yeah, sure. Oh, yeah.
So, yes, doing the workshops. And my claim to fame there is that I've kept my cultures alive for 16 years, which I understand is very rare. So I love teaching. I come from a long history of teachers. I love sharing knowledge. I love helping people. I love mentoring newly formed brewmeisters. I'm also a writer. I have 4 books that I've self-published. I'm working on a 5th one. I love mentoring people. I love fixing things. My ideal job, or not job, but side hustle would be buying old Toyotas and fixing them. And
okay, so hold on a second. So that was a really long list to get to my ideal side hustle, which is why I think you called. So how much capital do you need to start buying Toyotas and fixing one up? Give me a quick example.
I have savings. Capital's not a problem.
No, I'm saying, give me an example. A Camry, a Tacoma. What would you buy and fix it up and flip it? Give us a quick run through of that, how that would work.
I'd buy an older Toyota, preferably manual transmission, which is not that many of them, but older Corolla, older pickup truck, SR5.
And you put how much in it? $2 or $3 grand, $5 grand, then flip it for what? 8 or 9?
No, not even $5 grand. Sometimes people will ditch their older cars because they need a new alternator and they don't have money.
I guess I don't understand why you wouldn't do this. You've got this all figured out.
I do. I know why she wouldn't do it. Listen, Jody, I have one challenge to the Toyota idea. I'm not against the Toyota idea, but the very reason you told me you want to get out of farming is because it's so physical. We're going to go from physical farming to car flipping?
That's part of it. I'm going to keep the hobby farm. I mean, it's a lot of work, but I grow my own food. I mean, that's the whole point of my.
Well, what's the part that's physically taxing you that you don't want to keep doing at the hobby farm?
Interacting with campers staying overnight on my property.
All we got to do is get rid of the campers.
They arrive late. They have the drama. They waiting for them to come. I have 24% no-shows.
Yeah,
got it.
We got to get this is a very simple answer about that piece of it. You got a lot going on. You got a lot of ideas, and I think that's awesome. We need to get rid of the campers. That's something you can do as soon as your latest reservation is. We're not offering this anymore. We need to be done with that. It's stressing you out. You know it. I know it. We can all hear it. All of America can hear it in your voice. As for the other ideas, what I find interesting is that you spent a lot of time saying teaching, writing, workshops, microbrewing. You spent a lot of time on that, and then you came to my ideal job is Toyotas. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying what I heard you say over and over again was the teaching, writing. I think you need some clarity on what this next business idea is. And then when you know what that is, then you'll know what action to take. But you're trying to do all the things. I heard teaching and writing. I heard teaching people how to microbrew. You're making your drinks and all your stuff on the side, selling that as a product line, and also having an online stream. Now, if you want to do the Toyota thing, that's cool.
So hold on. You're absolutely right, Christy. But I want to ask you, Jody. Christy's right. There was a lot there, and then you just went. But my ideal job is fixing Toyotas. So which one is it? Let's do the old fun quiz.
There's no wrong answer.
There's no wrong answer. But if you had to choose today, guaranteed success, which one would you choose? If you could only choose one.
I would actually do both.
I know you would. I'm saying right now, which one do you think you get most enjoyment out of?
Learning how to make videos and post them on YouTube.
Okay. All right. Here's what I want to do. Jody, I want you to stay on the line. I'm going to have Kelly send you 2 things. First, I want her to send you my course, Business Idea Boot Camp. This is a course I created years ago to help you come up with your best business idea. I want you to list all your ideas, and you got a lot, put them all in there, and you're going to run them through several tests that I have to find your best business idea. And then I want you to come to my conference, Business Boutique, in October. You can come in Nashville in person, or you can watch on live stream. You come to that conference with your idea that you found from this course, and then we're going to show you how to act on it and build it. But you need to figure out which idea you're going to act on, or else you're going to keep running in a million directions and making progress at none of them. So those 2 things, it's a 1-2 punch. Business Idea Bootcamp, and then the conference will give you what you need to do.
And one other thing, Jody, please bring a case of kombucha, please.
please do that. That's awesome.
I would like to have some. The homemade kombucha, I'm in. She had me there. I love it. Hey, she's Christy Wright. I'm Ken Coleman. This is The Ramsey Show. Don't move. America. You are listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Christy Wright, and we're taking you through this hour as we answer your questions about life. 888-825-5225. 888-825-5225. Does it feel like no matter what you do, how hard you work, you just can't get ahead with your money? Well, we've been there before. But you don't have to live like that. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, decide now that you're ready to do something different. And if you do, you'll get different results. It's time to commit to a plan that works. Financial Peach University is the step-by-step plan that's helped nearly 6 million people pay off debt and take control of their money. You combine that with the premium version of the Every Dollar budgeting tool, and you will make progress instantly. And it's only available with a membership to Ramsey Plus. Decide today to break the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. This month only, we're taking $30 off the price of a 12-month membership. Start your free trial of Ramsey Plus today by texting trial to 33789. That's trial. Text that word to 33789. All right, Kansas City, Kansas is where we go next, and Brett joins us there. Brett, how can we help?
Hello?
Hi,
Hey.
Brett.
Hi.
You're on the Ramsey Show.
Hey.
It's all you, buddy. What's your question?
Sorry, just having trouble hearing.
That's all right.
I've got an idea for a product.
Okay.
That I think would be pretty cheap to manufacture and retail. I mean, a pretty good price point. I've never done that before. Should I try to bankroll the whole thing myself? Should I take out loans? I know you guys are pretty against financing.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and answer that part of the question. We don't want you under any circumstance.
Investors, and then just any other. Again, having never walked this path before, if there's any caveats you can throw out there, don't take any wooden nickels kind of stuff.
Sure. So let's
And
start
I'll just
with.
mute and listen. Okay, hold on a second.
I'm so confused right now. First, Brett, you should not take out a loan. We do not want you to take out a loan. Anytime you're getting into any kind of business, there's so much involved, and a loan is a bad idea regardless of how great the idea is, and it's certainly a horrible idea when we're not even sure if this thing's going to work. So no loan, and also we would not take on investors or partnerships. We're not a fan of that. That eats into your ownership. Christy, what else would you walking through here on this?
Brett, I'm curious, can you share the idea, or is it a secret? I think
it's such a simple idea. It would be really easy to steal it. So,
that's cool.
Yeah, I figured that was
okay.
the case.
So I'm gonna give you some general advice then.
It's a computer accessory.
Okay. All right. Here's
a life hack computer accessory.
Oh boy.
Got it. Okay. Cool. So
stop, Brett. You're going to give the idea away.
I'm gonna give you some very
and
simple.
I have not. I've been Googling for something like it, and the only things that are close on the market wouldn't even touch it. So
great.
All right.
Great.
It would outpace anything in its class.
Great.
That's on the market right now, and it would be probably $19.95.
Perfect. I believe that, and we're gonna prove it through starting small, growing slow. So here's what I want you to do. You've already done some research to see what's out there, and there's not much. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to look for manufacturing options for a prototype. You can pay a very, very small fee to get different manufacturers to create a prototype for you, where you can have a mock-up. You can say, yeah, a little bit more of this, a little less of this, and you can actually source it from multiple vendors to see who's going to give you the best price point, how they do their pricing, and also just what's the quality, what's the functionality. Because I don't know the exact product, I can't advise you to a specific direction, but you know what I'm talking about. You're going to, whatever this thing is, if it's plastic, if it's material, it's whatever, you're going to source different manufacturers. I would say get at least 3, get them to create 3 different prototypes. You're working with each of them and comparing the minimum orders, the turnaround time. Do you like them? Are they good with customer service and responsiveness to you because you're depending on them? And what's the quality? Does it have the functionality that you want, and so on? And then from there, while you're doing this, because this will take a little time for them to create, while you're doing this, I want you to start working on validating the concept. Now, you can do that through surveys. You can do it through asking friends and family. You can do it through social media. Ask about the pain points that this thing solves. So let me give you an example. Okay, my book, it's not a product is what you're talking about with like something with your computer. But before we created this book, or before Ken created his book, we did research. Hey, do you struggle with managing your time? Do you feel like you don't have enough time? What's your biggest frustration with your career move? We do research to understand the felt need of the people that we're going to help with this thing that we're going to create. I want you to do that, Brett. I want you to understand the people that need this product. What are their pain points? How do they talk about it? Guess what? That's going to become your marketing language. The things they say are the things you're going to say when you market this. And then when you do that, you can even begin to create an email list. You can create some social media pages, start to generate interest in this area. And then when you have it, you have a group of people to market it to. From there, you can look at selling it into retail stores if you want to go that route, in addition to selling it independently yourself. But really just the first step for you is you're going to take your money and go get a prototype made. And so you got two main avenues, two tracks you're walking at the same time. You're getting the prototype made and getting all that figured out and fine-tuned while you're doing market research and testing and understanding your market. If you do that, you can start to put it out there, and then guess what? You're selling this thing. Now, if it does not skyrocket overnight like you hope and dream that it will, don't be discouraged, because you're starting this thing from scratch. It doesn't mean it's not a good idea. That's where you put fuel on the fire of marketing, and you've got to broadcast it and get it out there to the right people in the right hands. And if it is as good as you say it is, then it will sell itself when it gets in the right hands and the right people know about it. So there's some tactical things for you to do. Guess what? Every person that's ever created a new product does that exact thing. That's not some special secret that they have that you don't. They didn't know what they were doing either, and they did it anyway. So you can do that too.
It's great advice that you just got, Brett. And don't forget what she said earlier. You're starting small and growing slow. Everything she gave you tactically has to come back to that.
Your first
order. If you
order,
feel like you're not starting small or going slow, then you need to slow down and just back off.
Your first order should be less than 1,000.
Yeah.
If you're starting with no email list. Now, if you're starting with some major platform you did not mention to me, maybe it's a bigger first order. But if this is top secret and you don't have a platform, your first order is less than 1,000. Period.
For sure.
And that's you can reorder as needed.
That's after you've done all that testing that Chrissy told you.
Yes.
You know, one of the things I find, Chrissy, that's so exciting, you know, for entrepreneurs, certainly inventors or something like this, they come up with an idea and they're like, everybody's got to have it. It's going to be an absolute big success. I mean, we've both been down that road before personally. We certainly understand that. But what happens is if you aren't willing to let this thing get ripped apart by people, like certainly a gadget, let's call it that, you've got to test that and put that in front of people and be willing for people to go, I'd never buy this in a million years. This sucks. And not to be discouraged, but to make sure that you don't order something and you don't go down the road with something that in your mind's eye was this wonderful idea and you never truly got real feedback. And it's got to be people beyond Uncle Larry.
So you make such a good point, because I think so many people, it's this fine line of you don't want one critic to derail your whole plans if it's just one. But if everyone's saying this, then like you should pay attention to it and listen. Have you ever had a product before where you used it and you're like, what idiot created this? Or like,
for sure.
How did they miss this? Like, did they not test it? Did they not think when they created this? And it's just so funny, because it's like we've all been there, and you want to avoid your customers thinking that, and you just listen to them, ask for their feedback, good, bad, ugly, everything in between. They're going to tell you what they like and don't like, and then you can go fix it in order to make it closer to what they need.
And I'm glad you brought this up. You're right, Chrissy. That doesn't mean they're haters or doubters. These are people just testing your product. There's a difference.
Yeah.
If one person, your friend, goes, that's a dumb idea, and you just stop everything because of that, well, that's the opposite of what you just gave the advice for Brett to do. But we're saying you really test the product, consumer testing, user testing, because that you may have 20% hate it, 50% really like it, and 15 are indifferent, whatever, and you don't hear anything, whatever it is. But you got to be able to lean into that, because when you do, it's invaluable information so that you don't get too far down the road.
Well, let me give you an example. I will not buy a handbag that I cannot put on with one arm because the straps are long enough. If I have to take this arm to slide it on because the straps are too short, I won't buy it. Someone that has kids and is busy, they know that. They make the straps longer.
Out.
Yeah, just think through like the functionality of what you're using and who's going to use it. It's going to help you.
Good stuff. Thanks for the call, Brett. Great advice. Christy, I want to thank my colleague, Christy Wright. So much fun this hour. I want to thank our producer, Ben Hill, our associate producer, Kelly Daniel, and you, America. You're listening to The Ramsey Show.
Hey,
Kelly, associate producer for The Ramsey Show. This episode is over, but if you heard about an event, product, or service and didn't have a chance to write it down, don't worry. We list everything you've heard about during this episode in the podcast show notes section or head to theramseyshow.com. Thanks for listening.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studio. This is The Ramsey Show. It's where America hangs out to have a conversation about life, money, relationships, businesses, your career journey, your time, just about everything that matters.
Anything you want to talk about.
That's right.
We're here for it.
She is Christy Wright. I'm Ken Coleman. We're here together for you. It is a free number to call, 888-825-5225, 888-825-5225. And Christy and I are having more fun than you should be allowed to have when you host a radio show, but why wouldn't you? The advice is free, so if you don't like it,
we'll give you a refund.
What's the big deal? Why wouldn't you call?
And if you don't like us, you can just send us hate mail, but we have great assistants and we'll never see it.
I'm so glad you said that because I don't ever read those. I remember when I first started 4 years ago, the Ken Coleman Show, and I told my producer, I said, listen, no matter how awful it is or how entertaining it is to you,
sure,
don't ever show me.
Nope.
And what is it about the bravery, Christy, of people behind a keyboard? They would never dare look you in the eye and say the things they say to you or me when they fire an email or a. My favorite is the passive-aggressive, holier-than-thou, arrogant, I just got you comment on social media.
Yes.
That's my favorite, my personal favorite. I'm just going to leave this here and walk away.
Yeah. You know what I was thinking the other day? You know how a lot of people say everyone should have to be a server, so you empathize with servers in restaurants? Which
I agree with
totally
that.
agree. I've been a server. I get it.
I was too.
I'm so much nicer to servers because I've been a server. I get that. I think everyone should have to be on camera and just allow everyone to scrutinize. Let everyone have a YouTube show where everyone's just, I don't like her hair. I don't like it. I don't like how she said that. That's right.
I think it's true.
Let them feel that comment
I would
thread.
love that.
People might be a little nicer. People might be a little nicer if they got to experience what it's like to be in the public eye.
Yeah. Why don't you share something that comes from your heart that you want to help somebody? Why don't you just put that out there and let somebody rip it? Gee whiz. But
so
hey,
send it on in. We won't see it.
We don't care. We don't care. That's the price of admission, though, and we are okay with it. 888-825-5. By the way, what they don't know is what we say about them.
There are breaks here for a reason, people. JK, we love y'all. Next question.
So what does that mean? Oh, just kidding. You have to help me with this. I'm a 47-year-old dad.
That's not a new thing. That's been
when
around
you said JK, I wasn't
since
quite
we were in
sure.
middle school.
All right, fantastic. There it is. She's helping me. She keeps me current. 888-825-5225 is the phone number to jump in. Let's go to Big Springs, Texas. That seems like a really great place to be from. Big Springs, Texas is where Robert joins us. Robert, how can we help?
I'm just trying to figure out how to get debt free. Me and my wife have been talking about doing it for a while now, and we're trying. Is the key word.
Okay.
We're trying to get elected.
All right. Well, let's just start. How'd you get connected to us? How'd you hear about us?
I'm at work listening to the radio.
All right. Cool. Awesome.
And I listen to it a lot because I can't get it when I'm home, so I listen to it when I'm out this way a lot.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. Well, Robert, I'll tell you, we were actually talking about this earlier, but everything we teach about money, career, time management, anything, we break down into really simple steps because we believe that if you have a clear path and steps, then it's a lot easier to do it. And so Dave's money principles, Dave Ramsey's money principles that this organization, Ramsey Solutions, is founded on, are 7 baby steps, 7 very specific steps that you take in your money in order to get control of your money and have financial freedom and be able to build wealth and give and do whatever you want to. So the first step in the baby steps is to get $1,000 really super fast. So this can't be something I'm going to save $10 for a real long time. really super fast, get $1,000, sell so much stuff the kids think they're next. Get that $1,000 and you're going to put that in a savings account just for any type of emergency that might come up when you stop using debt, which is now. So if you stop using debt, you stop using credit cards, which is what we want you to do, you're going to need that. It's called a starter emergency fund. And you put $1,000 in your savings account. So if your, tire blows out, you can cover it, not have to use your credit card that you've been used to using, for example. And so you get that $1,000 starter emergency fund, and then you begin to pay off all your debts, smallest to largest, by balance. So what I want you to do, Robert, is I want you to make a list of all your debts, any type of debt, credit card, car loan, student loan, personal line of credit, medical bills, whatever. All your debts, you're going to list them out in order by smallest to largest balanced. I want you to ignore the interest rate. I know this sounds counterintuitive. People all the time say, oh, shouldn't I pay off the highest interest rate first? Because then I would be da-da-da. Listen, if we were doing math, we would have never got ourselves in this situation, people. So we're going to focus on smallest to largest because we found that quick wins are motivating for you to stay with the plan. So you want to get that quick win. You pay off that smallest debt. You mark it out on your list, cut up that credit card or close that account, whatever it is, and then you roll that into the next one. So what you're going to do is you're going to attack that smallest debt when you're in baby step 2, and you're going to pay minimums on everything else. And then when that smallest debt is paid off, you mark it off, cut it up, close the account, whatever, roll that payment into the next smallest debt. You attack that debt, pay minimums on everything else. And this is what we call the debt snowball. And you keep doing that until you get to your largest debt, which is most likely your student loan. If you have a student loan, a car loan, something like that. We don't include the mortgage in this step. This is just consumer debt. So all debt you have other than the house. And that's called baby step number 2. And then when you're debt free, which is super exciting and a really big deal, you never go back into debt again. You want to begin to save up cash for your fully funded emergency fund, which is 3 to 6 months of expenses. And this is going to be the cushion and protection between you and an emergency in life, like something like a job loss or health scare, some medical bill you have to take care of. You're going to be able to pay cash when you have that savings. And so those are the first 3 steps. First step number 1, $1,000 emergency fund. Step number 2, pay off all debts, smallest to largest, by balance. Baby step number 3, 3 to 6 months of expenses. And then once you get that, you're ready for baby steps 4, 5, 6, and 7. 4 is to be investing 15%. We don't recommend to invest until you're at baby step number 4 and debt free. Baby step number 5 is to fund kids' college fund. If you have kids, you want to fund their college. And then baby step 6, pay off the home early. Baby step 7, build wealth and give. And the whole idea, Robert, is that you've got to have an incredible intensity and momentum and gusto, gazelle intensity is what we call it, especially in those first 3 steps. Because when you said to me, when you asked this question, Robert, you said, we've been trying to get out of debt. We've been trying. Trying is different than being committed to it. So you've got to commit. You've got to take debt off the table. It is no longer an option. We're going to cut up those cards, which I know is scary. We're going to close those accounts when they're debt free, which I know feels vulnerable, but you're going to have that emergency fund to protect you. And we're now operating on a cash system, not a debt system. So you've got to change your mindset and change your behavior and commit to this plan. The only way that it works is if you commit to it. We're going to stop trying and we're going to commit and we're going to do it. Stay on the line. I'll have Kelly send you the Total Money Makeover, which is Dave's best-selling book that shows you how to do this step by step in detail.
Great stuff. It's as clear as it can be, and it works over and over and over again. Robert, you got this. Appreciate the call. Debt-free is in your future. Don't move. More of your calls coming right up. This is The Ramsey Show.
Stop paying your overpriced wireless provider and switch to Pure Talk. They use the same network as the larger providers for much less. For just $30 a month, get unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data with no contract. The average family saves over $70 a month by switching to Pure Talk. Just go to puretalk.com and enter the promo code Ramsey to save 50% off your first month. Pure Talk, simply smarter wireless.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague Christy Wright. We'll take your calls this hour, 888-825-5225. Blinds.com's 100% satisfaction guarantee means even if you mismeasure or pick the wrong color, they'll remake your blinds for free. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more if you use the promo code Ramsey to get the best deal. Today's question comes from B in California. My business closed due to COVID and I'm struggling to find another job. I owned a day spa with 22 independent contractors for 10 years. But now the only job I can get is waitressing. Not true, but I understand. I've applied for jobs in different fields, but I keep getting turned down. I even applied for a job in collections and offered to go to school to learn about that industry, but the manager was looking for someone with experience. I'm confused, lost, and heartbroken. I don't have to work since we are debt-free and my husband makes a great living, but I want to find my new niche. Niche or niche? Do you call that niche?
I call it niche. I feel like niche is the safer.
Yeah.
I feel like if you say niche, you're trying to be fancy.
And I think my brain just messed with me right there in the middle of that.
Is it a gala
I did a
or a gala?
combination of niche and niche. And it was like niche. I said niche. I don't know what's going on. There you go. Any advice you could give would be much appreciated. Okay, so much here. Let's start with the fact that I want you to take the pressure off of yourself, B, because you don't have to make a living because of your financial situation being debt-free and your husband have a good job. Let's take a deep breath here. It feels like you're really pressing because I wanted to think about going into collections and even going to school to learn about that industry. And it's just like I'm just grasping. I'm searching right now. And the reality is that you need to step back and go, what do I just want to do that has even nothing to do with a paycheck? Let me just go do something that I'd like to do and begin that process of discovery. I would love for you to go to kencoleman.com or ramseysolutions.com and you can get the Get Clear Career Assessment and begin to look at talent, passion, and mission. Talent's what you do best. Think of talent as tools. There's clues, Christy, when you figure out what you do well. And then we look at what would I love to do. But I think in this situation, I'd focus more on passion with B. And what I help callers with, Christy, on mission is when they're trying to figure out the specificity of the work. Many times it helps to just ask the three-part question. Who are the people I most want to help? What problem do they have or desire do they have that I want to solve? And what's the solution to that? If you break that down, it could be a problem. It could be, I want to make women feel beautiful, right? So I'm going to go into maybe the beauty industry or something like that. I want to design shoes, clothes, whatever. It doesn't always have to be a problem, but it is always a problem or a desire that you associate with certain people. And then what are the solutions to that? So I think B, that's where I'd start. But I think you've got to relax here because just trying things from collections to waitressing, I mean, it's just all over the board. And I think that there's some sort of, Christy, self-imposed pressure. And we can't answer this in detail because it's over an email, but what do you hear in that?
I'm curious that this question from B actually makes me want to ask a bigger question of just in general, and your thoughts on this, Ken. I wonder how many businesses closed due to COVID because they could not cash flow in the closures.
Yeah.
But they stayed closed only because of discouragement. Because
that's a great question.
If you had a business for 10 years, B, and you had 22 independent contractors and you knew how to do this and you did it well, why could you not do it again? Why could you not restart it? Now, would you get all of your clients back that you were at your peak? Probably not. They found other solutions, but I bet you'd get some back. Let me use an example, Ken. Some of my favorite businesses, from a lunch place in Brentwood to a yoga studio downtown, don't at me with all your feelings about yoga. It's a form of exercise, people. Listen. Have closed.
I feel like there might be something there we got to dig into in a moment.
Oh, no.
Take care of B. I'm going to circle back.
Yoga studio and sandwich shop, both closed due to COVID. And they're not back.
Yeah.
But if they open back up, I would be there in a heartbeat.
Along with several other people like you.
That's right. Because the concept was proven. And she did it before. She knows how to do it. The scary part of starting, she doesn't have to do that. It's just when someone gets knocked out, like in boxing, someone gets knocked down and out, man, it's like getting up is hard. But there may be a percentage of businesses in the United States that did not restart because of finances or because the market genuinely shifted. I get that. That is true for some. It's not true for all of them. I wonder how many did not open back up simply because they were discouraged. And I wonder if B's one of those people, because
she doesn't even mention that. Interestingly enough,
it's not even an option. And why I just go
you
to
think
that
it's
first
too much pain? Because she could go work for a spa. Having owned a spa business, she doesn't even mention that as just a job. She doesn't even need the money. I wonder if I think you've really. I mean, it's hard to read into something like this, but I think you're onto something. There's a lot of pain associated with having to shut that business down, to where she goes, I might go get trained to be in collections. Have you ever heard anybody say that in your life?
No. And
it's the furthest thing from spa.
100%. And the other thing that's so interesting about business, and this is what I talk about this a lot through all the work I do through Business Boutique, business is personal. It's you. It's your heart. It's your skills. It's your services, your knowledge. This is your baby. And so if someone rejects the business, it feels like they're rejecting you. It does feel personal.
Absolutely.
And what's interesting is, even if you had a very successful business, if you had to close those doors because of all the regulations, closures, quarantine, all the stuff that happened last year, I wonder how many of those business owners, even though they knew in their head, I'm facing an impossible situation, in their heart, if it felt like I failed. I failed, and they didn't want to go back into that.
I think you're all over it.
I
don't have to wonder,
because they felt like they failed, and I'm like,
it's
you
happening.
didn't fail.
You're right.
You didn't, because the business, the people that are starting again, people are absolutely packing those restaurants out. They're packing those exercise studios, whatever the thing is, out. And you may have to build it up a little bit again, and you may have to find a new space because that space is gone. But I just want B to start it again, Ken.
I do too.
I just want her to open it back up.
Take care of people. Yeah, I think there's a lot of pain associated with this, and she's just going, I need a fresh start. Or it is possible, we just don't know this, that she's looking for something else. But this self-imposed pressure, I mean, she's actually in a really, really good position financially where she doesn't have this pressure. I've got to go get a job.
Right.
So, it's very interesting stuff.
And
really,
you had
really
22 independent contractors.
22.
You could come back with 5.
I'd start with calling all 22 of them and going,
100%.
hey, what you doing these days?
100%.
B needs some work. I'd start there.
Hey, let's do what we did. Round 2. Right. Let's try again.
All right. So, lot of heat coming off of you when you said, don't at me on the yoga. What, have you been attacked for saying that you do yoga?
Oh my gosh, Ken, are you serious? Yes.
I'm not playing around.
Oh, it is rooted in Middle Eastern religions and
boy.
Okay.
Oh, so I've actually led you back into it.
Ask America, what are your thoughts on yoga? They'll at you. They'll tell you.
So it's not stretching and breathing. There's deeper. You're telling me there's more stuff.
That's what it is. For me, it's where it originated.
Have you done the goat yoga? Have you? Because you used to own goats in your farm days.
Listen.
You used to. Okay, I was one of my favorite little factoids about you, and you're a very impressive woman. You've been my friend for a long time. One of my favorite factoids about you.
We're laughing before you even say it.
Because I remember the first time I heard this. You had a farm. You lived on a farm.
Sure did.
In your early single days. Pre-Matt, right?
Yeah.
And you had some fainting goats, and I thought this was a joke. And
for
you
the
said,
record,
for
it's
real.
not the only animal I had.
No,
I had multiple animals.
But I don't care about the
goats.
other animals. I only care about the fainting goats. So it all comes back to a full circle for me. Goat yoga, where you do yoga with a goat on your back.
Listen,
have you tried this?
I've not tried it, though I want to. And just for all my Business Boutique listeners right now, we're always brainstorming fun experiences for Business Boutique every year.
Why not goats on the stage? Fainting goats.
I fought for that in every meeting, and I got shut down because apparently they use the bathroom on the stage and on the people, and it's just it wouldn't be as cool as it sounds.
Have we not been to the circus? Who is shutting this down? Every time I go to the circus, something happens on the concrete.
Hey, you lead the charge. I want to see you
I'm
do
going to,
yoga, and someone maybe.
What if I show up to the next meeting and say, I think there ought to be fainting goats because I know this, the women would love it. It'd be the number one thing on the survey.
Hey, it would be the number one.
Because you're dancing and shouting and
we would hear about it on the survey.
You're firing these women up, and the goats would freak. It would be awesome.
It would
Great
be something.
experience.
It'd be something.
All right.
I fought for it.
Coming to Business Boutique this fall. RamseySolutions.com. Get your ticket. There might be a fainting goat.
I'm expecting an email from Dave Ramsey in T-minus 30 seconds.
Dave loves the idea. I know he does. All right, don't move. More of your calls coming right up. This is The Ramsey Show. You're listening to The Ramsey Show, America. Thrilled to have you back with us. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague, Christy Wright. The phone number to jump in on the conversation with us is 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Christy, don't answer this because I already know the answer. Have you ever made a dumb decision with zeros on the end because you didn't do your research? I have. Christy hasn't.
Yes.
Most people make choices based on feelings or opinions, especially when they're buying a house. But when it comes to the real estate market, feelings are not your friend. Facts are your friend. So check your facts. Find out what you can actually afford. Research what's trending in home prices. Talk to a reputable real estate professional in your area. Never buy a house without the facts. Again, go to RamseySolutions.com/agent. That's RamseySolutions.com/agent and get an agent who will help you make smart decisions. 888-825-5225. 888-825-5225.
Ken, I want to talk about your book.
Well, I was getting ready to say, I'd like to talk about my book,
your
too.
Book launches
no, I'm kidding. I kid.
Your book launched Monday.
Monday? Can you believe that?
And listen, people probably don't realize this.
What?
But when you launch a book, when you launch it for pre-sale, and this is this thing you've been working on for a long time, the content you've worked on for even longer, but the book at least over a year.
Oh, yeah.
And you put it out there, and it's this exciting, but also borderline terrifying of like nervousness, excitement, nerves of finally putting it out there in the world. And then you start to see, oh my gosh, it's connecting. It's helping people. People are buying it. You're hitting your goals. Tell me a little bit about what this week has been like for you. Because I want people to, here's what I want people to hear. The human being behind the book. Like you're not just an author and it's a beautiful cover that the team designed and all the things, but like talk about like your heart behind this, because I know it because I get to see it and
you've done
hear from you. But I want people to hear not just the marketing points. I want them to hear from you because you have such a passion's the word, but it's more than that. Like there's this like in your core this calling to do this. I want people to hear from you as like the person.
Yeah, I was the kid that was terrified as a teenager that I wouldn't figure out what I'm supposed to do with my life.
Really?
That's the backstory. I'm a pastor's kid.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you grow up in church and you hear your dad preaching all the time to other adults saying, hey, do what God's called you to do what God called you to do. And it just becomes this mantra.
Was it like intimidating of like this idea of like, I have this one calling, what am I supposed to do?
100%.
Yeah.
And so as a teenager, you're like, okay, I want to do what God's called me to do. What is that? How in the crud do you figure that out? It's terrifying. It's terrifying for adults, certainly terrifying for a teenager. So at the root of all this, I was always that kid who really wanted to figure it out. And I got direction early on in my life and pursued it. And I felt that I was called to go into politics. The very long story.
When was this? What age were you?
Very short, 16.
Okay.
Felt that I was called into politics to run for office one day down the line.
Okay.
And so it's about 31, 32. I'm 31, 32, realizing that this thing that I've been planning for, to the point where we moved into a neighborhood in the Atlanta area, picked a district, blah, 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 had all the plans. And I realized that I didn't want to do that. And it freaked me out. I'm 31, 32. I've been a very intentional guy my whole life. And I was in a career crisis. I was like, did I miss it? Have I been? I mean, this is the heart of all this.
No, for sure. And
I was like, how could I have been that far off? But I wasn't quite sure what it was. And then when broadcasting I'm trying to shorten this.
Yeah.
When broadcasting becomes a thing, I felt like an imposter. I felt like maybe I was delusional.
Yeah.
I didn't go to school for it.
Yeah.
I didn't have any experience doing it. And I got a wife and 3 little ones under the age of 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I got responsibilities. And so as I begin to walk it out and really reset my own life and dive in, that's where the heart of everything I do comes from. Is I know that I went through it and I felt like I'd blown 32 years of my life. That's not true. That's a lie from the pit of hell. But I also wrestled through it, got super clear and figured it out, and dove in, and then started on a very long journey, 7.5 years to get to Ramsey Solutions, another 3 years. So about 10 years to step into the dream job. And I know that it can be done. And dream job is not about glitz. It's about doing that thing that you were created to do. God gave you, Christy, talent when you were born. He also gave you a heart that's unmistakable for certain types of work. It just, you think about it, you get juiced. When you're in the middle of it, time stands still. And then you have results that you personally want to put into the world. And so that's mission. And so as I began to go through the process for myself and walk the journey out, it became very clear to me that yes, broadcasting was the work, but the mission was helping people understand that they were created to fill a unique role in this world through their work. That means they're really valuable, and it means they must do it, whether it's a plumber or a professor, a teacher or an astronaut. All work is valuable. So that's the heart behind the book.
I want to go back to that moment when you realized you didn't want to do politics, because I'd be willing to bet there are some people there right now, and whether it is, they got a degree in something, they realize they don't want to do it, or they've been doing it for years and they're like, I'm ready for something new. I had a similar moment. I, in college, was pursuing an advertising degree, and I'm super creative. Like that's how my brain works. And so I was like, I can come up. And a
great writer. You're great with words.
Yeah. I thought like I'll come up with catchy headlines, and work in an ad agency and all that. And cause I have that skill, and I really enjoyed it. I love the challenge of that creative aspect. And senior year of college, I went to University of Tennessee. Senior year, we had to take an advertising ethics class. I've told this story on stage many times, but we watched a documentary about advertising's effect on women and people in general, but specifically women. And it was like this light bulb moment that is not what I wanted to do with my life. Yep. That I wanted to do something, but I didn't want to contribute to women's low self-esteem. I didn't want to contribute to and not that that's all that advertising represents by any means, but the path I thought I was on was not that path. And it was this moment of almost devastation, feeling like I have spent 4 years, a lot of my mom's money in this college education towards something that I actually don't want to do at all. Yeah. And in the sovereignty of God, I use that degree in so many ways in what I do with teaching women marketing. But I'm curious from you, when you had that moment, how did you get yourself out of that slump or that fear or even the panic of like, oh my gosh, I've spent so long I moved my family to Atlanta for this path, and this is not what I'm going to do. Yeah. How did you break out of that?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it was only in getting really clear on what the next step was, what I was actually supposed to do, and seeing that there was purpose in all of it. Yeah. So while it was a shift from politics to broadcasting, the reality was nothing really changed that much. When I actually dove back in, and you just touched on it. That's right. So beautiful. I realized it was a public call. Yeah, okay. It was a call to communicate. I thought it was running for office and giving speeches and writing policy. Turns out it is giving speeches, but it's writing books. Yeah. So it wasn't as big a shift. It was professionally from a sector or from an industry standpoint, but the actual work itself, my talents didn't shift.
You're pulling from all the things you already had.
Yeah, and so then I also now look back and go, hey, I ran a business in that time. Jeremy Breland, I ran a company together. I got so much experience that helps me now in what I do. Just like you mentioned, you use every bit of that work and experience now in what you do.
That's right.
It's just a very different mission, which is the result. Yeah. But the work itself, not that different at all.
So getting clear is one of your steps. What step is that?
It's the first step.
It's the first step.
Got to get clear. What am I supposed to do, right? And here's what you got to know. When you see talent, passion, mission align, I use what I do best. This is how it looks. To do work I love, to produce results that matter to me. It turns into an arrow. When they get in alignment, it points to the marketplace. And here's what's cool, and you know this. There's more than one dream job for you. There's more than one career path.
Yes.
But what we know is there is a role you're supposed to fill.
Yes.
Because of those gifts you have of talent, passion, and a sense of mission.
Yeah. And it's just incredible, too, because you've taken your story and all of this experience, and you've put this in your book that is now on pre-sale, that launched on Monday, From Paycheck to Purpose. Don't we all want that? We want purpose. The clear path to doing work you love, and it's available for pre-order. When you go to RamseySolutions.com and you pre-order his new book, you get over $100 of free bonus items, and you can even enter a giveaway for $3,000, and that's totally free. Text CASH to 33789 to enter the giveaway. Go to RamseySolutions.com. Pre-order your copy. Get a copy for you. Get a copy for a friend that may need it. And help them if they're in that spot of the fork in the road. Breathe life into them. Show them how to get clear. And actually go from paycheck to purpose. This is The Ramsey Show.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. Thrilled to have you with us. I'm Ken Coleman, joined by my colleague Christy Wright. Today's scripture of the day comes from Matthew 11:29. Take my yoke upon you. Let me teach you, because I am humble and gentle at heart, and you will find rest for your souls. Today's quote comes from Rob Siltonen. People who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. I think we're getting a yes and amen from two crazy people right here.
I love that.
Who are trying to change the world.
Love that
That's
quote.
a great, great quote. All right, 888-825-5225 is the number. Let's go to Charlotte, North Carolina, where Fola joins us. Fola, how can we help?
Hi. Thank you for taking my call.
You bet. What's up?
I wanted can it be too late to switch careers?
What do you mean by too late?
Well, I've been a nurse now for about 13 years, and I'm pretty tired right now of it.
Sure.
I've been tired for a while, so I was looking into some other things. I tutor, and I'm pretty good at that.
Okay.
But that taps into the side of me that likes numbers and things like that. So I was looking to switch into something like data management, but that would take some education on my part.
How much education would it take? Have you looked into that? Have you researched it?
I have at least a year of self-study, like intense self-study.
So the technology field, because presumably you could continue tutoring on the side and make that a really nice side business. Sounds like you're already doing it and you enjoy it. But is the technology field something that you're thinking about, this data management, because of the stability in the career, or is it something you really enjoy?
Well, because I think it would be something I would enjoy.
Good.
And also because I could potentially merge it with my nursing degree and work in a healthcare company.
Fantastic. Okay, so I got a couple things for you. I want to take on this idea that you think it's too late. Is this because you think your age, but that somebody's not going to hire you? Is that what's behind this? What's making you think, is it too late?
Because I already spent 13 years doing nursing.
Okay.
That's what makes me think so.
Okay, great. Let me just tell you right now, it's not too late. You can transition. One of the things I want you to do in the next week, I want you to contact Bethel Tech. BethelTech.net/Ken Coleman. We've got a partnership with them. They are training people for technology jobs with no previous experience. You don't have to have a ton of technical skills. They have a 9-month program, and it's less than $15,000. Now, that's one example. I want you to talk to them, kick the tires, ask them all the questions. May not be a good fit for you, but this year of self-study that you've already identified, that's not too long. And the reality is, I know you're tired as a nurse, but if you've got a clear path forward, so you know right now that technology is something that you can add to your tool belt and stay in the healthcare world where you've got a ton of connections, 13 years worth of relationships. This is a huge head start for you. If you can hang on, and you can take care of yourself. I'm going to have Christy talk to you about some things that you can do because you're exhausted. And Christy can help you with that. But if you can, and I know you can, if you can hang in there long enough to get qualified, Christy, I know that she can transition out of that nursing day to day and move into technology and have a fantastic future.
Well, and it was what we were just talking about. Your career is not necessarily one thing you do for 4 decades like it used to be in older generations. Right. And then you got the gold watch and you retire. Now it's more of an evolution, and careers can change, and they should, and that's fine. It's not too late. In fact, it's incredibly normal. And so the one thing I would encourage you, as Ken is talking about what this looks like of the getting qualified, I just want you to remember that that's a season and it won't last forever. And so let that motivate you to pour yourself into getting qualified in the season, knowing that the difficulty of staying in nursing isn't going to last forever. And the difficulty of getting qualified in training is not going to last forever, because when it's hard, because it will be hard to learn this new thing and to continue to nursing when your heart may not be in it anymore, that is a season and there's light at the end of the tunnel. And when you get to the other side of the training, you can begin to transition into that new thing, and it will all be worth it. But you're just going to go through a season of getting qualified. That's okay.
Great advice.
It's normal.
Fola, you got this. You absolutely have this. Let's just keep looking into this, all the multiple ways to get qualified. And once you pick the right path, you fund your way through it, keep the cash flow going, and then you're going to walk right into this great future. Really proud of you. Thank you for the call. And by the way, don't for a second look back on 13 years of nursing and say, it's just what Chris and I were talking about. I kind of wasted some time. That's not true. You are caring for people on the front lines, and we salute you, Fola. Thank you so much.
And it prepared you for what you're going to do next.
That's absolutely right. All right, let's go to Kayla in Colorado Springs. Kayla, how can we help?
Hi, yes. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
I am a systems engineer, and I have been for about 3-4 years now, been floating in technology. But this isn't my calling, and I know that it's not my calling. This isn't what I want to do. This isn't what my degree is in. But I'm on baby step 2, and in order to pursue the job that I want to pursue, I would take a significant pay cut. How do I juggle the baby steps while still pursuing what I want to do with life?
I love this question. I get it all the time. Okay, let's just break it down. How much do you have? How much debt do you have left? And then when do you expect to pay it off currently with your current job?
Currently, we have $123,000 left of debt.
Okay.
Payoff is just under 2 years.
Okay. That's awesome.
And I'm looking at how can I do this? Do I just sell off the cars in order to pursue the job that I want, to get rid of the debt faster? And
sure. Okay, so let's do. Yeah, I get it.
Scared.
I get it. But here's the deal: you're in great shape right now in a job that you're stable in, and you are trucking on this thing. So let's just look at what is it going to take for you to get qualified. Do you know to change? You've already got the degree. Is it aligned with your degree? And what do you have to do to get qualified to change careers? Do you know?
Yeah, it's actually pretty simple. I would just have to be hired on. It doesn't require anything. So my degree is in criminal justice.
Okay. How big of a pay cut? How big of a pay cut would it be?
We would be looking at about $30,000 to $35,000 a year.
Okay, but once we have no debt and we've got that emergency fund, how do you feel about it? Let's fast forward. How do you feel about it if we were there?
I feel happy.
You'd change tomorrow, wouldn't you?
I would change tomorrow.
Okay, I got some great news, Kayla. Listen to me. Criminal justice is still going to be there in just under 2 years. I wouldn't put this pressure on you right now to choose between paying off debt and doing the work I love. This is how what I teach and what Ramsey Solutions on Money teaches comes together. I'm going to tell you, chill out. Keep moving forward. Okay. I'd sell cars. Yes, I would try to take the under 2 years, Christy, and I'd try to shave time off of it because I know that then I can walk into criminal justice. But you're qualified, Kayla. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to get connected while you're paying off debt and make sure that you got every opportunity that could be available to you waiting on you the minute you guys pay off the debt and get that emergency fund in a place where you can take the pay cut. Because we've got the third largest group of net worth millionaires in this country is teachers. That means the median salary right now in America for teachers is $60,000. So it's not about the paycheck. It's about purpose, and they're moving their lifestyle to be able to do the thing they love. And that's you, Kayla. You got this.
It's what we were just saying about a season. This is a season.
Oh, that's it.
You're in the season of paying off your debt. It's what I always say. This is what I talk about in my book. What's right now. You don't have to do everything all the time.
Yes.
We're going to do what's right now. What's right now? Paying off the debt. It's not doesn't mean that dream is dying.
Yep.
It's just not right now. What's right now is paying off the debt. And then when you get debt free, however you get there, take an extra job, selling the cars, whatever. Then what's right? Oh, pursuing that next step in your career, pursuing the job that you really want. But we've just got to do the right things at the right time. Otherwise, that dream is going to stress you out, and we don't want that. We want to keep the joy in it for you, but it just comes down to doing it at the right time.
That's it. Kayla, you got this. But listen, you're at under 2 years right now. You start selling stuff, getting gazelle intense. There's the extra motivation beyond just getting debt free. It's stepping into the work that you were created to do. Keep with it. It's going to be here before you know it. Great word, Christy, on the seasons. I had too much fun. I really did.
This was so great. It did not feel like 3 hours. This flew by.
Yeah, very good stuff. Hey, I want to thank our producer, Ben Hill, and our associate producer, Kelly Daniel. But most of all, we want to thank you, America. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, this is James, senior producer for The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? And a lot of those people listen on one of our 600-plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, head to theramseyshow.com.